Since tech conventions aren't happening as they normally would, we're starting to see some interesting virtual events and showcases, including LG's new virtual room as part of IFA. Now, IFA is normally one of the world's largest tech conventions that happens every year about this time in Germany. It's basically the consumer electronics show of Europe, with thousands of exhibitors and hundreds of thousands of attendees and a bunch of product launches. It's still taking place starting on September 3rd, but it's almost entirely gone virtual, and that's leading to some pretty interesting innovation. So LG has an approach by creating a virtual showroom that looks a lot like the overall booth experience you would normally expect from one of the biggest tech companies in the world. And it's available online so everyone can take a look at it. It features their big OLED display room that they usually have at CES with rollable and flexible OLED screens forming a giant changing video, usually showcasing dramatic nature scenes. You just imagine hundreds of people packed in the same room bumping into you, and it's almost like you're actually there. They also have different rooms showing their television releases. And LG is just one of the companies doing this. Samsung unveiled a virtual experience for their products, and IFA itself has a virtual show called IFA Extended Space that promises networking, videos, and all other kinds of things. We're covering all of the product releases, but I would highly encourage and recommend you to go check out some of these virtual events. We're living in weird times, but you also get access to something that normally you'd have to be in attendance to actually see. So check it all out at digitaltrends.com. All right, a new tool has been announced by Microsoft to help detect deepfake videos ahead of the upcoming United States presidential election. So they've been working on a series of software tools as part of their Defending Democracy program, which aims to combat disinformation and manipulated media to protect voting against interference during the election. Now, deepfake videos and images have increasingly become more sophisticated, so their new program, Microsoft Video Authenticator, aims to make it easier to detect these manipulated pieces of video by giving them a percentage score on whether something may be fake. Microsoft says it does this in real time, and it works by detecting the blending boundary of the deepfake and subtle fading or grayscale elements that might not be detectable by the human eye. They partnered with the AI Foundation, and the tool will initially only be available through its initiative called Reality Defender 2020, which will allow news outlets and political campaigns to submit video for authentication. Beyond that, they've also announced a tool for content producers as part of Microsoft Azure, which will allow them to place digital hashes and certificates in the metadata of videos. And there's a web extension that can read that metadata, let someone know with a high degree of accuracy who created a certain video. It's a lot of tools, and clearly with AI getting better at manipulating media, it's not going to be the end of deepfakes, but it's a start. And you can read more about it at digitaltrends.com. Have you ever looked at Twitter and wondered, why is that trending? Of course you have. We all have. According to Twitter, the phrase, "Why is this trending?" was tweeted over 500,000 times in 2019 alone, and now they're trying to be a little more transparent in answering that question. So to start, the trending section on Twitter is going to be adding a lot more context to the information display. If a topic is trending, you'll see pinned tweets to it that are representative of the discussions being had on the platform around it. Those pinned tweets will be determined in a couple of ways, partially by an algorithm and partially by human selections. They also said that the descriptions of the trending subject will all be written by humans and not artificial intelligence. This, of course, all leads to more transparency, but also it's to avoid the trending section from being taken over and hijacked by spam bots or by abusive behavior. So there's been a lot of examples of this happening, with prominent ones being QAnon followers with blatantly false information trending, or state actors like Saudi Arabia, which had a huge bot army tweeting about the prince during the whole Bezos phone hacking scandal. I got some of those ones. The new representative tweets and subject explanations will start rolling out in 17 countries on both iOS and Android, so expect to see those popping up in your feed soon. You can read more about it at digitaltrends.com. And finally, we have a date. The new season of The Mandalorian is premiering on Disney Plus on October 30th, but they didn't give us a trailer yet. So there's, of course, a number of theories swirling around about why we haven't been given a trailer. The date's great, but one of the big theories is that maybe Disney just doesn't need to put one out to get everyone to watch it. So originally, the Season 2 trailer was supposed to debut during the NBA playoffs at halftime of the Trailblazers-Lakers Game 2, but that came and went with nothing, and since then it seems to just not be happening. Now, we do know, of course, that Giancarlo Esposito will be featured prominently as Moff Gideon with a darksaber, and a bunch of actors from the first season have been hired back, but it may be that Disney makes us wait until October 30th to see any new footage, and if that's the case, so be it. Or maybe they surprise us with the trailer today. Who knows? You can follow along with all of it, though, at digitaltrends.com.